right behind me is the Royal Enfield 650 Bear Scrambler, and I want to compare it to this, the BSA B65 Scrambler. So design-wise, I think what Royal Enfield has created here is probably one of their best looking bikes yet. Engine-wise, it carries a 648cc parallel twin that's air-cooled at a 270-degree crank, so it should sound rather nice. It produces 47 brake horsepower at 7,250 RPM and also 56 Nm of torque at 5,150 RPM, and it also has a 6-speed gearbox. Whereas the BSA Scrambler engine is a 652cc single cylinder that's liquid cooled, that produces 45 brake horsepower at 7,250 RPM and 55 Nm of torque at 4,000 RPM, and it also has a 5-speed box. I think aesthetically what BSA have done with their new Scrambler is a beautiful design, and I'm sure these vibrant colours are going to appeal to all ages. So suspension wise, on the front we've got 43mm upside down shower forks that's carrying 130mm of travel. So on the rear we've got twin shocks, they've got preload adjustable and 115mm of travel. So suspension wise, on the front we've got 41mm telescopic forks, and on the rear we've got those twin shocks that's got the 5-step preload adjustable only. So tyre size, on the front we've got 100 B90 B19, and on the rear we've got a 140 B80 B17.
The Royal Enfield tyres are semi-knobbly, made by a company, MRF, which is one of the largest manufacturers in India.
And the tyres on this bike, on the front we've got a 110 B80 B19, and on the rear we've got a 150 B70 B17. Tyres on the bike as well are the Pirelli Scorpion STRs. I think they're a fantastic bit of rubber for the bike. So braking wise, on the front we've got that single 320mm disc. It carries a 2-piston brake caliper, and on the rear we've got a single 270mm disc that carries a 1-piston brake caliper. However, with the brakes on the BSA, it carries a single 320mm disc with a 2-piston Brembo caliper on the front, and on the rear we've got a single 255mm disc that's got a 1-piston Brembo caliper. So seat height wise, it's 830mm. As you can see, 5'9". I've kind of got my feet flat on the ground. The seat height on this bike is 820mm. It does actually feel a little bit higher than the Royal Enfield Bear, and I think that is because your legs are spread out a little bit more. So all the switch gear feels nice and premium as well. It's just the same on a lot of these other models, even my Himalayan 450. It's got the little joystick there. It's also got this TFT screen, which is the 4-inch round screen. The clarity on them is really good, and you've got the phone connectivity as well. I like the fact they've got the clutch and the brake lever are also adjustable. So ergonomically the bike feels really good, sat in this position with these wide bars, and I must admit when you get on the pegs that feels nice too. You don't feel like anything's restricting your legs. So ergonomically on the bike it feels kind of nice. The seat is nice and soft. You've also got this wide handlebars, which is absolutely perfect, along with this premium switch gear. When you stand up on the pegs, I'm not so sure with sort of side cases, they're digging slightly into my calf, so I'm not sure how this would handle on the trails when you get on those pegs, but I guess there's only one way to find out. Tank size on this Royal Enfield is 13.6 litres. This one's got a 12-litre tank. So the reason for the low down exhaust is because the 2 pipes that go into one give it a little bit more torque, and also it makes space for things like the luggage and the rear passenger pegs. bikes. So with it being a single cylinder engine, you can see we've only got one exhaust coming out, and they've also adopted that low design with the silencer. Wet weight on this bike is 214 kilos, and the wet weight on this bike is 218 kilograms. So the price on these bikes, the petrol colour that I'm sat on now, £6,749. So price-wise is still to be confirmed on this bike. How much do you think this will be? So interestingly, the bike's called the Bear because they run a race, which is an off-road race in California called the Big Bear Run. So in 1960, a 16-year-old kid called Fast Eddie won one of the races on a Royal Enfield bike. So Royal Enfield have named their colour scheme 249 after Fast Eddie's bike number. So to summarise up these bikes, they both today have generated a lot of interest. We're still waiting for the price on the BSA, but I'm sure it will come in quite tight to that Royal Enfield price. Both bikes are super appealing to all ages, and I think both will sell rather well. The true test is when we get to ride these bikes, and we'll find out for sure. So let me know which one you think is best. And don't forget, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give us a like, and I'll see you in the next one.